With the price of Bitcoin seemingly stalling out between $90,000 and $100,000 per coin, is Bitcoin in store for the first real short-term flash crash of the post-election result pump? Or will giga-chads like Michael Saylor and other Bitcoin mega bulls prevent such a dirty dump? So if you're new here, hit that like and subscribe, and without any further ado, let's absolutely dump into the price of Bitcoin today, which right now sits right on the 21-day moving average, leaving many people questioning, are we about to initiate a short-term switcheroo? Is it possible the price of Bitcoin is about to have a little itsy-bitsy dump? And what exactly is causing the price of Bitcoin and a lot of these altcoins? I mean, Bitcoin's down a couple percent. A lot of these altcoins are down between 5, 10, and even more percent right now on the day. As you can see here, a lot of these top coins, except this one, I guess, are actually all of them, except like a few of these are actually red. And one of the major things I want to talk about actually is before we talk about anything else, because there's actually a lot that I want to cover. So I definitely recommend watching to the end of the video. But specifically, one thing that doesn't seem to change, especially, well, maybe even particularly just for new people, is that when the price of Bitcoin starts going down, when we stop setting new all-time highs every day after we have been, right, for the past couple of weeks, fear really starts to take over. Human emotions really start to take over. We're down a couple percent today, but people start getting that PTSD, that massive fear in their heads of like, wow, you know, what if we just see one of these big candles and it's all ogre? And I want to talk about that, but I also want to like cover a lot of different things, exactly where I think we are and what kind of massive opportunities I think are going to present themselves in just the next 24 to 48 hours. So first of all, in terms of news, we see El Salvador discovering about $3 trillion in unmined gold. The debate between gold and Bitcoin is a pretty popular one right now, and it has been for a couple years. But that's the thing, you know, they're not going to discover a couple extra million Bitcoin. It's one of many benefits, I think, one of many advantages that Bitcoin has over gold. I mean, one of my personal favorites is honestly just portability. You know, say you need to escape your country, you can just literally have your seed in your head and you can take that, nobody can confiscate it from you. And then as soon as you escape from a country you might need to escape from or something, you can access it. If you try getting on a plane with, you know, a couple bars of gold or something like that, I mean, good luck with that not being an issue. We also see that with this most recent dip, MicroStrategy has acquired about 21,000 more Bitcoin for a little over $2 billion and now holds over 423,000 Bitcoin, over 2% of the Bitcoin supply. And we also see that Binance founder CZ says that the UAE, United Arab Emirates, already has Bitcoin in its reserves and is inevitable for Hong Kong to also buy. I think a lot of news is going to be coming out. We've been hearing rumors of this over the past couple of days about another nation state that's been buying or plans to buy, potentially Microsoft, potentially Amazon also allocating portions of their their capital into Bitcoin as well. We also see that Amazon, again, as I just mentioned, Amazon shareholders have submitted a request for the $2.3 trillion company to explore adding Bitcoin to its treasuries. And I just think that the writing's on the wall in terms of that. In terms of alts as well, Q1 2025, as I've been saying as well, I think is going to be massive. And I think we're actually going to see alts really, really pick up here very soon. However, primarily what I want to talk about in this video is like the immediate short term. Quite literally over the next 24, 48, 72 hours. Is largely what I want to be focusing on in this video. Am I bullish on Bitcoin? Absolutely. I mean, my goodness. For example, we can take a look at a few things why I don't think we're anywhere near a top. For example, this post, CryptoCon on X talking about people now, again, and this is one of the reasons I talked about fear at the beginning of the video, is because I saw a lot of content today posted about people saying, actually, maybe we were wrong. Maybe the Bitcoin top is a lot closer than we were thinking. And maybe we're going to top out right in Q1 2025. And this is something we kind of see, we've seen in previous bull markets when we have like the tiniest little drop, but the fear starts popping into people's heads of like, okay, wait, is this going to turn into a much longer drop? And content gets posted that kind of accelerates this and kind of preys on your fears pretty much, like that content really only exists, one, because it gets views because people are scared, and if you play into that fear, then it'll get more views. So, but that kind of perpetuates the fear even more. But really, are we anywhere close to the top? Hey, nobody can say for sure, but I mean, this is a really good chart that I think illustrates exactly kind of where we're at. And if you look, you can kind of pause it and kind of, if you really want to glance over the last couple bull cycles that he has highlighted in this post. But really, as I've been saying, and a lot of people have been saying, I don't think we're really close at all to a top. Specifically, the chart that I am really watching, the 300-day runway roughly of, before I think we can really expect this market to fully top out. If it's anywhere similar to previous markets, and so I'm not panicking here. I mean, for Pete's sake, I don't think most people are panicking, but I did see a lot of like really bearish headlines earlier today. And that's kind of why I'm taking this stance of trying to, kind of speak against that. But for example, largest inflows ever we saw on CNBC, Bank of America potentially buying Bitcoin. I believe it was Steve Weiss. Yeah, Steve Weiss here talking about it. This guy's like, he doesn't even like Bitcoin, but he's been buying it. As it says here, he buys more of it. But he thinks it's just a complete speculative asset. But basically, I guess one of the benefits of that is he sees, potentially unlimited upside, even though he's, relatively, he doesn't, it's not like he thinks Bitcoin has a use case according to him. But one thing that's hard for skeptics to really reconcile is, for example, this. If you take a look at this, Bitcoin priced with real estate, the SPX, Apple, Bitcoin just, basically sucking liquidity and value, not really sucking value, but when you just compare it to all of these things, it's kind of hard. It's very hard to ignore. And I think the biggest benefit of something like this, a video like this, just illustrates what Bitcoin is doing, where most people don't really understand what it's actually doing. And this is it's kind of a slap in the face a little bit, where you can kind of get a better idea of oh, okay, this is truly doing something maybe a little bit bigger than most people understand in terms of storing value and doing something financially I don't think the world has ever seen before. I mean, quite literally, I don't think it has seen anything like Bitcoin before. And so I think it's so silly when people compare Bitcoin to tulip mania, or calling it just the biggest bubble ever, and all these different things, or comparing it to the .com bubble or something. Yes, Bitcoin has crashed, and it's going to continue crashing in the future, but it's also going to crash way harder to the upside forever, which is also what it's done so far. So for somebody to be arguing that it's for some reason going to stop doing that after it's been proving those people wrong for the past, over a decade, the better chance is that it actually just continues doing what it's doing successfully. In terms of Bitcoin drawdowns, we actually have not experienced any really massive drawdowns so far. You can see this is our current cycle in black here. These are previous drawdowns of previous bull markets, specifically the bull market periods of this, and we haven't really had massive drawdowns. So I put this chart together just a couple of minutes ago. Really, this is a 20-day chart. You can see that on a 20-day chart, there's been, I specifically only marked bull markets, but you can see in the 2016 to 2017 bull market, plenty of dumps. In the 2019, 2020, 2021 bull market, plenty of dumps as well. And even beginning of 2023 to where we are now, we've seen some dumps. I mean, they haven't really been crazy dumps, but we've seen them. And so far, as you can see today, we're down. This is a weekly chart. From the all-time highs, how low are we? We're about 5 or 6% off of all-time highs. So really, I mean, this isn't even a dump yet. Really, the reason I'm making this video is, one of the reasons is to talk about the idea of actually having a real dump, like a real flash crash, which again, we really haven't had yet. We could even see a real flash crash down to about $80,000 or something, and it would still be kind of par for the course. But here's the thing. Are we going to get that? Because when you have people buying, not even people, when you have companies buying quite literally amounts of Bitcoin we've never seen before, Michael Saylor or Bitcoin ETFs, when you have the type of demand coming into an asset unlike anything we've ever seen before, is it still likely to expect these gigantic dumps that we've seen in the past? And also, this is Bitcoin specifically, but also, is there massive opportunity for altcoins when we get these moves? And my answer would be yes. So I personally think, and as I've been saying, if Bitcoin breaks out of this range, that would be more of a dump. But again, as I've been saying, I think that for this to really even be considered a dump, for it to be considered a flash crash, we would need to go below like $90,000, which again, it's not even, we're talking about an asset that's right off of 100,000 US dollars, maybe dropping a total of like what, 10% or something. So that's not even like a giant crash, but we haven't seen it yet. Is the demand there to just suck it all up? Well, a couple of days ago on December 5th, we did have a pretty big, I mean, the day we broke all-time highs, Bitcoin went up to almost 105,000 US dollars per coin, down to about $90,000 per coin, exactly that level we just talked about, $90,000, big even number, which looks, you know, it was previous resistance. It's trying to now solidify this as support, but it whipped from 105 down to about 90, but then immediately got bought back up and ended up closing at about like 97,000 US dollars above the 21-day moving average. So we haven't even had a daily close below the 21-day moving average, this blue line here. We haven't even had a daily close below this. Well, when was the last time we had one? Back on November 4th. Actually, yeah, I guess right at the election, right before the election. So since we have found out that we're having the most pro-crypto president, pro-crypto administration in the US in history, we have not had a single daily close below the 21-day moving average. The big question is now, I mean, will we ever? I think so, of course. Why would we not? I mean, and that's not like, that's not bearish, but all I'm saying is in over a month, we have not had a single daily close below the 21-day moving average. And we get those in bull markets. Basically, that just illustrates that we haven't really had an actual pullback in the past month since the election results. At all. We haven't had an actual pullback. So how long can this continue? Well, it depends on two things. The technicals getting overbought and needing to reset some momentum. But two, the bigger picture is the fundamentals of what can we really look for over the next couple of weeks, months, and years with this pro-crypto administration. Well, it really seems like demand has the chance of picking up in a way that we've never seen before, and especially with very pro-crypto regulation most likely being the case, maybe a pro-crypto SEC, right? With nominations that we've seen over the past week, pro-crypto, a lot of pro-crypto stuff. You know, if we get dumps, which we will, it makes sense. I guess instead of saying if, I should say when we get dumps, how quickly can they be bought up? And how low can we really go? And our only real example that we've seen over the past month was right here on December 5th, when we broke all-time highs, when we broke 100K, you know, decisively by over a couple $1,000s, up to about $105,000, and then immediately dumped, but then immediately pumped back again. So personally, every single one of these opportunities that we get where we have like significant dumps, because again, so far at the time of recording, by the time this video gets uploaded, maybe this has changed. Maybe Bitcoin has crashed below 90,000 by the time this video gets uploaded. Maybe it hasn't. But the point is, every single dump that we get so far over this last, you know, since the election results, and since we, in the US at least, understand there's going to be very favorable crypto policies and regulation, most likely. So far, the demand has been insane. And every single one of these opportunities, every single one of these dumps has been very lucrative, very good to basically enter new long positions. And so that also leads into altcoins, which I think they're down a little bit more than Bitcoin right now, obviously. That would also basically follow that altcoins, getting in new positions with altcoins is also going to be very lucrative, very beneficial, and very profitable. Now, just for a second, I want to look. The stock market is actually down a little bit today. The SPX, the stock market is down a little bit today. The SPX specifically. Also, the DXY is up today, which usually is not. Usually, Bitcoin doesn't pump when the DXY is up. We also see, though, again, after our very first touch on those previous all-time highs for the entire total 2 chart, the entire altcoin market, yeah, we're having a little bit of a pullback. My personal opinion is that I think over the next couple of days, over the next week or so, I think we're going to see altcoins go crazy, and I think Bitcoin is going to also have either a really nice pump or at least hold right around $100,000 US before then exploding much higher than that. I think that we're about to see altcoins really take off. I think that I don't think Bitcoin looks bad. I think Bitcoin looks extremely good. Maybe it has to cool down for a little bit before its next leg up, or maybe the demand is too strong. Maybe some of these fundamental factors are too strong. But overall, each one of these dumps that we get, at least for the past year, has been a gift and has been a buying opportunity. And now, as we've seen with the most pro-crypto Congress, most pro-crypto administration in history, now taking office in about a month, I don't think this is the time to fade this market. In fact, I think this is the time to be as bullish and as optimistic as possible. Now, they're going to try to shake you out of positions. You are going to be probably, especially if you're newer, you're going to have to battle your emotions and deal with the scary possibilities of a scary dump. For example, like I just highlighted, maybe this dump here on December 5th scared you a little bit. I'll be honest, I follow a lot of people, and myself included, that have been in the space for at least one cycle. So I didn't see a lot of fear, but I'm sure there were people that were panicking with a move like this crazy Darth Maul candle, right? But for the most part, most experienced people didn't care about this at all and shouldn't, because of how, just if you understand where we're at and what the most likely scenario is. Again, it's all risk and reward. There's no guarantees. But just again, the risk now isn't, in my opinion, that we've topped out. The risk right now is that you might miss out on this incredible bull run. Where again, altcoins really have not even shined at all yet. We haven't even broken new all-time highs. I think they're just getting ready to. But if we need a week or two to kind of cool off and just chill out a little bit, that's very far from bearish. In fact, again, it's extremely bullish in my view. We spent about 8 months in this wedge, and really the thing that catapulted us out of here, we started actually breaking out slightly before it, but the thing that really gave us momentum was the presidential election. Again, looking at the daily chart for Bitcoin, you can see just how important that was. We go back right to here. This is when the election results were decided, from 69,000, nice, to 76,000, couple days of chilling, then up to 90,000, couple days of chilling, and then up to 100,000. Couple days of chilling, up to 105,000. Are we going to get a couple days of chilling? Hey, so far that's what's been happening. But, at a certain point, yeah, maybe we will get a bigger pullback. Again, I just personally, and it's almost like I'm just asking, nobody knows, so I don't know who I'm asking, but really, like, how big of pullbacks can we get right now? Because the momentum mid and long term is extremely bullish right now for this entire space. Short term can change. Short term is a little irrelevant, kind of. But when can we really expect that the 21-day moving average will get broken and we might go below it? Again, like we did here, but we didn't get a daily close anywhere close to it. We pumped thousands of dollars off of this 21-day moving average after dropping thousands of dollars below it. So again, until we get a single daily close below the 21-day moving average, this isn't even a dump, in my opinion. Again, right now, at the time of recording, we're down like 3%. This is how I'm thinking about this, is that every day that you see red in the market for the foreseeable future is only a buying opportunity. And it'll take a lot for this market to, it'll take a really big dump or something really big fundamentally to happen for this to shift momentum. And right now, I think it's a really good opportunity for Bitcoin and altcoin investors. And fading this move, again, looking at the weekly chart, it almost makes what I'm talking about irrelevant, because is this a dump? No. Is this scary? No. It shouldn't be. If you're scared of this, why? Actually, yeah, this kind of chart just sums up everything. Going back to the beginning of 2023, it's hard for me to even wrap my head around how this is anything but exactly what we've seen before, but on steroids. Again, we've seen bull markets just be explosive for crypto, for Bitcoin, and this was all with bad anti-crypto regulation or lack of regulation, but anti-crypto environments in terms of governments and in terms of regulation. And this is the very first one where we don't have that headwind. In fact, we have a tailwind of bullish and positive crypto regulation. Again, I find it so hard. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I'm quite literally completely exposed to this market more than ever. I've benefited. My portfolio is again at all-time highs. by far. And I wish I could, you know, if somebody gave me $5 million right now, quite literally, I would be putting it in this market without even, like, I don't know, it would take me quite literally like a couple minutes to just do that entire thing. That's what I would be doing. Like, if $5 million hit my account right now, you would see $5 million more in Bitcoin and crypto. Like, and so, especially now. Now, again, as we progress along in the cycle, I'm not saying just like be completely moonish and moon boyish forever and never take profit. No, I'm not saying that. As we get to summer of 2025, and again, we have to reevaluate this every day and every week that goes by as things change, because maybe new information will come out and we have to adjust based on that. But as it stands, and has been for a while now, really, when the cycle gets close to historically what tells us it's topping out at, then we should start listening to that, and we shouldn't just be blindly bullish and blindly investing and making choices without thinking and considering where we're at. But again, it blows my mind where we're at right now. I think people are going to be looking back at where we're at right now in just a couple of months and like kicking themselves for not being exposed to the market right now. Absolutely. Like, and that's what you'll see the videos and you'll start seeing titles. I mean, this might sound crazy right now, but you'll start seeing titles like, can Bitcoin really hit 400 or 500, 600,000? Can Ethereum really hit 20,000? And again, I'm saying this with the perspective that when people are saying this, and those are going to be the crypto content headlines, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and all these other coins are going to be much more valuable, higher market caps, much more pumped up than they are right now. But I just think, again, I mean, if the chart looks something like this over the next few months, this is the entire crypto market cap. If it looks like this by summer or, you know, Q1, Q2, Q3 of 2025, where we're at right now, everybody on the planet would tell you like, yes, then, you know, this was a good opportunity to get in. And so, yeah, every one of these dumps is absolutely an opportunity. I'm looking right now for new long positions, specifically for altcoins. And if you're interested as well, you can sign up with the links to FEMX and BITUNIX below. Yeah, very big. And yeah, I mean, again, to me, this is par for the course. Overall, again, I just think that if we get a breakdown here, I have a hard time believing if we get a really big crash. I guess a question you can maybe leave in the comments, or an answer you can leave in the comments, but a question for you is, do you think we'll come down to the 50-day moving average, right around 80 or so thousand, 84,000 US dollars? Because how long do you think that could last? Do you think the ETFs, do you think people are going to be gobbling this up? Do you think these institutional investors that have been watching Bitcoin over the past few months and higher as it hits parity with gold, I believe is like right under $1 million. I think these people are, you know, trying to get into the market. And every dump, I just don't see how, especially for, at least for the next 4 years, as long as we have pro-crypto regulation. Let's say there's a true Bitcoin treasury where over the next 5 years, let's say 1 million Bitcoin does get bought up by the US government. Guys, I mean, these targets are low. $100,000 is cheap. I'm extremely bullish. I'm basically taking this as an opportunity to, hopefully, again, if we get a dump, I kind of hope we do, because I want to enter new long positions. I want to buy more, or you know, maybe diversify, or not diversify, but maybe change the positions a little bit in terms of whatever gets like the biggest discounts. Maybe I allocate more to those, because again, I think this market's going a lot higher.